Welcome back to the Practical English Podcast. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm Angela. It's great to be with you all again.
Today, we're tackling a topic that everyone encounters, whether you're traveling, on a date, or just grabbing a bite to eat with friends: ordering food in a cafe or restaurant.
Absolutely. It sounds simple, but it can be surprisingly nerve-wracking if you're not confident with the language. There are so many little steps and phrases.
Exactly. From getting a table to paying the bill, we're going to walk you through the entire process, giving you the key phrases you need to order like a pro.
So let's get started. Imagine you've just arrived at a restaurant. What's the very first step, Mike?
Well, first you need a table. If it's a popular place, it's always a good idea to book in advance. This is called making a reservation.
Right. So you might call them and say something like, "Hi, I'd like to make a reservation for 2 people at 7 p.m. tonight."
Perfect. Or, do you have any tables available for 4 people around 8 o'clock?
But what if you haven't booked? You just walk in.
That's called being a walk-in. In that case, you'd approach the host or hostess at the entrance and say, "A table for 2, please." Or, "Hi, we're a party of 3.
A party of 3. That's a great phrase. If they're busy, they might tell you there's a wait.
Yes, and you can ask, "How long is the wait?" They might say, "It's about a 20-minute wait." Then you decide if you want to stay or go somewhere else.
Okay, so you've got your table, the host leads you to it and hands you the menus. This is where the real fun begins, looking at all the delicious options.
It is, but sometimes the menu can be confusing or you just can't decide. The waiter or waitress will usually come over after a few minutes and ask, "Are you ready to order?" Or, "Can I get you something to drink?"
If you're not ready, it's perfectly fine to say, "We just need a couple more minutes, please."
Right, but if you have questions, now is the time to ask. Don't be shy. For example, if you can't decide, a great question is, "What would you recommend?"
I use that one all the time. Another good one is asking about daily specials. You can say, "What are today's specials?" Or, "Do you have any specials?"
This is also crucial for people with dietary restrictions. You need to be able to ask about ingredients.
Definitely. For allergies, you can ask, "Does this dish contain nuts?" For vegetarians, "Is the soup vegetarian?" Or, "Do you have any vegetarian options?"
You can also ask for modifications. A very useful phrase is, "Can I get the salad without onions?" Or, "Is it possible to have this with chicken instead of beef?" Most places are happy to help.
That makes sense. Okay, so you've asked your questions, you've made your decision. It's time for the main event, placing your order.
This is where some learners get a little stuck. They might just point at the menu, but let's give them some better phrases.
Okay, the most common and polite ways to start are "I'd like" or "I'll have." For example, "I'd like the spaghetti bolognese, please."
Yep, or "I'll have the fish and chips." Another slightly more formal option is, "Could I get the Caesar salad, please?"
Notice we're always adding "please" at the end. It's a small word, but it makes a big difference in politeness.
Absolutely. So the waiter might ask you follow-up questions. For instance, if you order a steak, they will ask, "How would you like that cooked?"
Ah, yes. And you need to know the right words. Rare, medium, medium well, or well done.
Exactly. Or if your meal comes with a side, they might ask, "And what side would you like with that?" You could answer, "I'll have the fries, please."
Let's do a quick role play. You be the waiter, Mike, and I'll be the customer.
Sounds good. Okay. Hello, are you ready to order?
Yes, I think so. Could I get the grilled salmon, please?
Certainly. And that comes with a choice of roasted vegetables or a side salad.
I'll have the roasted vegetables, please. And to drink, I'd just like some water for now.
Excellent choice. I'll have that right out for you. See? Simple.
That was great. Clear and polite. So now the food arrives. Hopefully everything is perfect. That was a great simple example, but of course, how you order can change depending on where you are. Ordering at a fine dining restaurant is very different from ordering at a fast food counter.
Hopefully. The waiter will often come back a few minutes after you started eating to do a check back. They'll ask something like, "How is everything?" Or, "Is everything okay for you?"
If it's all good, you can simply say, "It's delicious, thank you," or "Everything's great."
But what if there's a problem? This is another moment where learners can feel anxious.
Right. It's important to be polite but clear. You can get the waiter's attention by saying, "Excuse me," then explain the problem calmly. For example, "Excuse me, I'm afraid this isn't what I ordered."
That's a great phrase. I'm afraid softens it. Or, I'm sorry, but my food is cold. Or, excuse me, could I get another fork? I seem to have dropped mine.
Exactly. In most cases, they'll be very apologetic and fix the problem immediately.
Okay, so you finished your main course. What's next?
Dessert, of course. The waiter will clear your plates and might ask, "Can I get you anything else? Coffee, dessert?"
You can ask to see the dessert menu by saying, "Could we see the dessert menu, please?" Or if you are too full, you can say, "No, thank you, just the bill, please."
Ah, asking for the bill. Or in American English, the check. That's the final step.
That's right. The phrases are very similar. "Could we have the bill, please?" is common in British English. "Can we get the check, please?" is more common in American English. Both are understood everywhere.
Sometimes the waiter is busy and you need to catch their eye. A simple wave and saying, "Excuse me," when they look over is usually enough.
Once the bill arrives, you need to pay. If you're with friends, you might want to split it.
That's a key one. You can ask the waiter, "Can we pay separately?" if each person wants to pay for what they ate. Or, "Could we split the bill in half?" if you're sharing the total cost.
And then there's the question of tipping. This can be very confusing because it changes so much from country to country.
It really does. In the United States, for example, tipping is expected, and the standard is around 15 to 20% of the bill for good service.
Whereas in the UK, it's common to tip about 10%, but sometimes a service charge is already included in the bill, so you should always check for that.
And in countries like Australia or New Zealand, tipping isn't standard practice at all because service staff are paid a higher minimum wage, so it's a good idea to look up the local custom if you're traveling.
That's excellent advice. And with that, you've successfully navigated the entire dining experience. Let's do a very quick recap of the most essential phrases.
Okay, for getting a table for two, please.
Asking for help, what do you recommend?
Ordering your food, "I'd like the chicken, please."
And finally, paying, could we have the check, please?
If you can remember those four, you'll be in great shape. The most important thing is to try, be polite, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Well said, Angela. That's all the time we have for today on the Practical English Podcast. We hope this has been helpful for your next dining adventure.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Join us next time for more practical tips for using English in your daily life. Bye for now.
Bye.